What's up, YouTube? It's time for a review of the new Yelawolf EP Hotel, out last Monday, October 10th. So, Yelawolf launches the new website for his record label Slamerican and drops this little EP to go along with it. Hotel is actually an acronym for House of the Endless Life, and I was immediately curious to hear it just because of where Yelawolf's at in his career right now. With Trunk Music, which was very much his breakout project, I personally got into him off the retail version. With that mixtape, he established himself in a big way as this gritty, grimy MC with these fast, spazzy flows and a brand and an image that was unique to hip-hop. And that was that he wore that whole southern, rural, white trash thing on his sleeve, really. He was so unapologetically himself. And because who he was unique, people like me gravitated towards it because it was different. And by people like me, I don't necessarily mean white people, but that's a whole other issue. But seriously, the icing on the cake, along with this kind of uniqueness, was that he also happened to be a real high-level lyricist. Anyway, fast forward to early 2015, he drops his second major label album, Love Story, and totally says, fuck you to everybody and just makes the album that he wants to make, which is this sound that you could tag as country rap or blues rap or folk rap. Essentially, he combined elements of hip-hop with acoustically driven southern rock and blues and a bit of country. I was so on board with it, and I really admired this bold artistic leap he was taking, but unfortunately, when it came to the actual record as a whole, wasn't too crazy about it. A good half of it performed as advertised and wedged itself into this whole new genre without sacrificing appealing songs, but overall, the record was real bloated, and the rapping was a bit too dumbed down for my tastes. To me, Love Story would have been great if it was half the length and there was a little bit more rapping to balance out the experimentation. You know, kind of the big boy to the Andre 3000. The key for me in Yelawolf's music is I still want bars. He can explore whatever style he wants, and I'm going to be open to it, but if he's not devoting at least some time to those sneering, intricate, uniquely charismatic verses that he's so capable of, I feel like he's kind of tossing aside his core appeal. Luckily on this EP, there is an abundance of old school Yelawolf verses, and they coexist wonderfully with some of the country tinged sounds that Love Story centered on. It's like he took what worked on Love Story and reintroduced what made him great in the first place. On the track Someday, for instance, he takes this low-key, slightly ominous beat and just bashes it over the head with this real intense delivery. He's just exploding with anger and frustration. He goes harder here than he did on all of Love Story. And the lyrics match the intensity too. There's a line on here where he says, "Nothing to lose except my life, and I don't give a fuck about that too." And with his flow on this track, he finds those little cracks in the beat to kind of slither through like he's always done so well. A bunch of the phrases here begin like 3/4 between downbeats, and I love hearing that kind of patient syncopation from an MC. And in the case of a track like this, it actually helps work to build the tension further. The track Be Yourself is another highlight in terms of rapping. The beat on this one cuts back a bit on the acoustic instrumentation and brings in some trap elements. Yelawolf's final verse sounds like fucking Trunk Music Yelawolf. There's even a tongue-in-cheek reference in there to the size of Drake's pool, which, what more do you want in a verse? And none other than Bubba Sparxxx is featured on this song. He claims the lone feature on the EP, which makes sense because he's this American artist, but he brings a pretty good verse to the table. He fits the beat, or rather the beat fits him very well. Honestly, it looked kind of strange in the track list when I saw him, but in the context of this song, it makes perfect sense when he jumps in. I don't even blink, really. I mean, he does rhyme pole up with po up, but occupational hazard, I guess. My favorite track on this thing is probably Renegades. Real dope. It kicks off with these breathy guest female vocals that are like soaked in reverb and this calm acoustic guitar line to go along with it. This one definitely shoots for that Love Story sound. It's got super smooth production, which allows Yelawolf's sing-songy delivery to come across as less rough around the edges and more approachable, which is appropriate for this song. What really works here is how he uses this haunting female voice to complement his part of the melodic hook. And I think because of that interplay, when he does jump in and start singing, he's able to come in with more force. And I think it's really just a nice textural contrast to have a female voice. And I love those electric guitars in the chorus that actually directly relate musically to that initial acoustic guitar line that opens the track. And I particularly dug that line where he said, "I don't run from my demons, I embrace them," which feels very in character for Yelawolf. "You Should Have Known" is pretty cool too. There's some familiar self-loathing in these lyrics. He says he's a son of a bitch from the start. The thing about Yelawolf is it often feels like he genuinely sees himself as this gutter rat type character. And that's why he spends so much time portraying himself that way and painting that picture for the listener. This song, he does reference his Chevy and being a rambling man and a couple things that are a bit played out, but I really enjoyed it overall. In the middle of the EP, there's this quick little interlude called In Love Tonight, which is cool, but it heavily borrows a melody from the Bon Jovi song Runaway. And I'm not just saying that because both tracks happen to use the word runaway. Like, the melodies are similar. So that kind of bugged me. The other gripe I have is with the opening track, Supersonic Alley Cat. Now, setting aside the eccentric final 30 seconds of this song, you can't have a 3-minute, 45-second plus build-up to a fucking project that's 24 minutes long. You've now spent over 12.5% of your project on an intro. And not to mention, I think that sweet, gentle acoustic guitar progression could have gone somewhere interesting. But the net here is that I really like this thing, and I'll even go as far as to say that it fully rejuvenated my Yelawolf fandom and my interest in what's coming next for him. I know there's some talk in the press about an album possibly titled Trial by Fire that could be dropping at the end of this year. So partly because of this EP, I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, even though it's short and sweet, it's my favorite Yelawolf project in a long time. And I'm now looking forward to his next move. Yelawolf's Hotel EP gets a 7 out of 10 from me. As always, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, or shoot me a message so we can continue to talk music. And I'll see you guys soon.